Yes, the managing director could just. It's just to cause it to be submitted. Right? It's just a formality. It's a formality. Knowing that the highest authority is in charge.
Thank you very much, Chair. The requested documents were submitted to this service body.
Thank you very much. So you may go ahead to give us your report. It's just a summary. We have the documents, as you said.
Good man. Where Mike?
I think next time we'll try to assist in terms of our own formalities. We just want to say that NAWEC has actually submitted the documents to the National Assembly, and all of us have copies. But this is the formal submission.
Good morning. The year 2015 witnessed a series of activities in improving the availability and access to both water and electricity supply through rehabilitation of the existing facilities and the implementation of new projects to meet customer demand. As part of efforts to improve the power supply situation and reduce the operating costs in the rural areas of the country, NAWEC, through the Indian line of credit, procured and installed 2 new heavy fuel oil-fired engines in Basse and Farafenni with a total capacity of 5.2 megawatts. This development, when fully implemented, helped boost both the revenue and operational status of NAWEC by drastically reducing the current prohibitive operational costs in the provinces. In the area of electricity supply, the major activities in 2015 going into 2016 were major maintenance works, procurement for consultancies and works of major generation projects, both for the urban and rural Gambia. Like many developing countries, and especially in the ECOWAS sub-region, affordable and reliable electricity supply continues to be a major challenge due to high cost of operations and lack of required investment in the sector. Despite slight decline in the price of oil internationally, fuel and fuel-related products continue to be the major cost driver for NAWEC. The operations of NAWEC were seriously under threat due to global economic shocks, social unrest, and civil war in the Middle East and North Africa, which negatively impacted on NAWEC's operations. The instability in the domestic economy, such as high inflation rates, high cost of borrowing, and foreign exchange losses, continue to negatively affect the financial position of NAWEC. The presidential directive to fix foreign exchange had led to huge exchange losses, unavailability of the necessary foreign currency, especially the US dollar and euro, for the procurement of essential spare parts for maintenance works. Because of the high cost and the unavailability of the required foreign currencies in a timely manner, most of the maintenance works were delayed, leading to machinery breakdown and reduction in available generation capacity, especially at Koku Power Station. Another major challenge faced by the utility over the period was the non-payment of water and electricity bills by local government authorities, some ministries, and other government-related accounts. The non-payment or delayed payment of these bills forced the utility to continue to borrow from the commercial banks with very expensive interest rates to sustain its operations. Without the timely payment of these bills, NAWEC will always continue to borrow and also default in its payment obligations to our suppliers and creditors. Realizing the importance of water and energy in socio-economic development, NAWEC and government made significant efforts in 2015 to ensure the provision of secure and reliable supplies of water and electricity to the population, despite the challenges highlighted earlier. In order to achieve this goal and to overcome the problems of the past, NAWEC, with the support from the Gambia government, have adopted a strategy which focuses on contracting highly concessional loans to increase both the provision of water and electricity supply at a relatively affordable price, although below cost of service. In the same vein, efforts are being made to source funding and partner with the private sector to harness the country's renewable energy potential for greater efficiency and sustainability. A number of firms and companies expressed their interest, and we are reviewing each of the proposals for a possible power purchase agreement. The major impediment for the implementation of large-scale solar projects is the status of our transmission and distribution network, which is dilapidated and requires major investment. In a bid to alleviate the T&D bottlenecks, NAWEC embarked on a project in August 2015. 26 kilometers of 33 kV transmission line with evacuation capacity of 20 MVA from Rikano Power Station to the load center of Talindin Buffer Zone, a 10 MVA primary substation, and the electrification of 8 peri-urban villages along the transmission line route were commissioned and inaugurated. The primary substation, with its newly constructed 3 outgoing 11 kV feeders of total length of 5.6 kilometers, has greatly impacted on the evacuation capacity from Brikama. It has given us greater flexibility in our network operations, hence reducing outages during maintenance. The electrification of these peri-urban villages from Bafulo to Mandinari has positively impacted on the social and economic livelihood of the residents in these communities. The utility continues to encourage the private sector to be fully involved in the sector for a win-win PPPs. I therefore call on all users of NAWEC services to promptly settle their bills to enable the company meet its obligations, including loan repayment and network expansion. Our drive towards industrialization and transforming the economy cannot be realized without access to affordable and reliable electricity supply. The provision of electricity is capital intensive, and by paying our bills on time, NAWEC will be in a better position to serve the population better for greater prosperity. The year 2015 was characterized with an increased cost of inputs, which affected the financial capacity of the company. This trend proves that there is the urgent need to diversify our energy resources by venturing into the fields of renewables, energy imports from the sub-region, and indeed public-private partnership. The company's operation improved in 2015 as manifested in the rise in power production due to some vigorous maintenance works in all power plants and water installations. Some of the major projects included the expansion program of the water and electricity networks to major settlements in the GBA. In addition, in 2015, the procurement of fuel was liberalized, and the cost of HFO, being the major cost driver, went down as a result. NAWEC's net loss improved almost 100% from $986 million in 2014 to $943 million in 2015. In general, the provision of power supply to the Greater Banjul area and diesel power stations in the provinces became more stable and vigorous. And vigorous efforts were made by management through the rural electrification extension project to ensure that additional generators were available to meet increasing demand. NAWEC continues to operate water wells and treatment plants in order to satisfy the water and sewerage needs of Gambia. The future outlook of operations is to implement renewable energy projects and foster regional cooperation through cross-border interconnection and capacity building. The achievements of 2015 have been possible due to the unflinching support from the Ministry of Energy, the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, Board of Directors, development partners, management and staff of the company. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We thank you. We thank you very much for the presentation of the activity report. Could you now proceed with the financial statement?
Thank you very much, Chairman. Good morning, everybody. The Board of Directors, National Assembly members, NAWEC staff here present, the media, and all protocols that we have observed. The NAWEC financial report for 2015, we realized the revenue for the year ended 31st December 2015 was $2,685 million, compared to $2,126 million in 2014, representing an increase of 26% due to the increase in production and customer base. Cost of sales went down by 10% from $2,043 million in 2014 to $1,839 million in 2015, due mainly to decrease in cost of heavy fuel oil, as alluded by MD. Therefore, gross profit of $846 million was achieved, compared to $83.3 million in 2014. Net operating loss of $212.4 million compared to $367 million in 2014, representing a decrease of 42%. Interest expense went up by 39% from 194 million in 2014 to 269 million in 2015, due mainly to the NAWEC bond that was signed in February 2015. Foreign exchange loss went up by 69% from 508 million in 2014 to 858 million in 2015. This is mainly due to depreciation of the dollar and the implementation of major development projects which are all in foreign currencies. Net loss decreased by 50% from 986 million in 2014 to 494 million, due mainly to the increase in revenue and decrease in cost of sales, and of course the decrease in heavy fuel. Cost of heavy fuel was 1,069 million compared to 1,569 billion in 2014, representing a decrease of 26%. However, light fuel, LFO, went up by 62% from 233 million in 2014 to 386 million in 2015, due mainly to the increase in LFO consumption as a result of delay in supply of heavy fuel in March and April 2015, when we had a new supply. The narrative parts also went up significantly from 34 million in 2014 to 175 million in 2015, due to the increase in maintenance costs of aging engines. Electricity service connection went up by 26.7% from 42.4 million in 2014 to 56.1 million in 2015. The property, plant, and equipment went up by 2% from $4.7 billion in 2014 to $4.8 billion in 2015, due mainly to the implementation of new projects. Similarly, current assets went up by 24% from $1.1 billion in 2014 to $1.4 billion in 2015, due mainly to the increase in bills. Inventory went down by 22% from 540 million in 2014 to 420 million in 2015, due mainly to the decrease in electrical and water spares as a result of maintenance. Whereas receivables went up by 66% from 547 million in 2014 to 909 million in 2015, due to the increase in bills and non-payment of bills. Trade and other payables went down by 63% from $2.6 billion in 2014 to 971 million in 2014, due mainly to the reclassification of the GEG balance and the NAWEC overdraft facilities as at 31st December 2014 to a 5-year 15% bond. Current liabilities went down by 48% from 3.1 billion in 2014 to 1.6 billion in 2015, also due to the reclassification of the GEG balance to the NAWEC bond. The working capital in 2015 was 1:87, which means for every dollar NAWEC owed, NAWEC could only pay 87 butus, whereas in 2014 it was 1:37. Short-term loans went up by 59% from 339 million in 2014 to 539 million in 2015, due to the principal balance of the NAWEC bond. Similarly, long-term loans went up by 40% from $5.8 billion in 2014 to 8.1 billion in 2015, also due to the capital-intensive projects that were not secured by NAWEC or the former government. In 2014, Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, Central Bank of the Gambia, commercial banks, Euro-Africa, and NAWEC agreed to restructure Euro-African and Euro financing and GEG exposures to commercial banks and NAWEC exposures to commercial banks to a 5-year NAWEC bond.
An escrow account was opened by NAWEC at CBG, Central Bank of the Gambia, to deposit $51 million monthly and distribute to commercial banks concerned at the end of each quarter, according to their quota of the bond. Eagle Euro-Africa Group Limited owed various commercial banks $38.3 million, which equivalent to $1.7 billion. And NAWEC also exposure to various commercial banks was $347 million. Therefore, the total bond account was $2.1 billion. As of 31st December 2015, the bond balance was $1.9 billion. In July 2017, the bond was revised to a 7-year 12%. In conclusion, there is a positive trend in the terms of losses, because in 2013, NAWEC net loss was $1.3 billion, whereas in 2014, it was $986 million, a 28% difference. In 2015, the loss went down to $493 million, which is 50% from last year. This positive trend has a direct relation to cost of fuel, especially heavy fuel and lubricant. When fuel prices go down, NAWEC will realize a profit. If the fuel price goes up, there is no doubt that NAWEC will also incur a lot of losses. During the year under review, fuel prices went down, and therefore losses went down, but NAWEC need enough time to recoup the losses incurred during the 5 years. Because in the net, there's a negative equity in the report. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We thank you very much for the presentation. We are quite clear on the generation, transmission, and distribution agenda of the enterprise. We are quite clear of the objectives of affordability and accessibility of the services. And the document you presented has gone into sewerage and the water services of the enterprise. And now we've also had the financial analysis of your financial statement, which we would want in writing. The statement is available, but the analysis will be very useful if we have it in hard copy. So we would want what you have also presented as an analysis of your financial statement to be submitted as part of your report. And members, we've heard what has been presented, and the documents are presented to us. Debating on with our aides in terms of the details that should be presented. So just give us a few minutes so we come to conclusion on that. But I hope the auditors are getting ready to present the management letter that is coming next. Yeah, okay. Yes, we have agreed. There are many details that constitute the financial statement, and a particular detail was not presented, so we were debating as to whether we ask you to present it or just take it as given, because we have substantively the report presented to us, and we've agreed that we proceed with the management letter. Could the auditors then make a presentation of the audit impressions?
With your permission, we have a very long audit report and management letter. I would like to read. Honorable Chair, I was just saying our audit report and management letter together are very long. With your permission, I would like to read the audit report, and my colleagues will help with the management letter. Thank you.
Yes, you may go ahead.
May I please refer you to page 5, and that's after page 4 of the financial statements. The audit report is on 2 pages. Report of the independent auditors. To the members of NAWEC, the National Water Electricity Company Limited. We have audited the accompanying financial statements of National Water and Electricity Company Limited, NAWEC, set out on pages 7 to 20, which comprise the statement of financial position as of December 31st, 2015, statement of profit and loss, and statement of cash flow for the year then ended, and significant accounting policies, financial summary, and other explanatory information. Directors' responsibility for the financial statements. The directors are responsible for the preparation and fair presentation of these financial statements in accordance with the Companies Act 2013 and for such internal control as the directors determine are necessary to enable the preparation of financial statements that are free from material misstatement, whether due to fraud or error. An audit involves performing procedures to obtain audit evidence about the amounts and disclosures in the financial statements. The procedures selected depend on the auditor's judgment, including the assessment of the risk of material misstatements of the financial statements, whether due to fraud or error. In making those risk assessments, the auditors consider internal control relevant to the entity's preparation and fair presentation of the financial statement in order to design audit procedures that are appropriate in the circumstances, but for the purpose of expressing an opinion on the effectiveness of the entity's internal control. An audit also includes evaluating the appropriateness of accounting policies used and the reasonableness of accounting estimates made by the directors, as well as evaluating the overall presentation of the financial statements. We believe that the audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our qualified audit opinion. Emphasis of matter. We draw attention to note 18 in the financial statements, which indicates that the company incurred cumulative losses at the year ended December 2015 of 5.8 billion, and at the date that the company's liabilities exceeds its assets by net $3.6 billion, resulting in deficit in shareholders' equity of $4.1 billion. Additionally, the company defaulted in settling the existing bond of $1.9 million, resulting in restructuring of the agreement in 2016. These conditions, along with other matters as set forth in the financial statements, indicate the existence of uncertainty regarding the company's ability to continue as a going concern and increased liquidity constraints. These financial statements do not include adjustments that might arise from the uncertainty of the company to continue as a going concern. Our opinion is not qualified in respect of this matter. Basis for adverse opinion. Inventory. As detailed in note 12 of the financial statement, inventory is stated at carrying value of $304 million as at 31st December 2015. From our audit work, we noted a difference of $10 million between the stock valuation report and the general ledger balance. The difference was not supported, reconciled, or corrected by management. $6.9 million was charged as provision on slow-moving goods, but the basis of provision was not provided or supported with a list of the identified slow-moving stock. From a sample of stock items tested during the audit, we noted that some stock items were wrongly priced, resulting in an overstatement of the stock values by $19 million. The difference noted was not corrected by management. Due to the above significant limitations on inventory, we could not ascertain the valuation and existence of the inventory balance in the financial statement. Consequently, we could not determine the possible adjustments, if any, that might have been necessary for the year ended 31st December 2015. Receivables. As detailed in note 13 of the financial statement, net receivable balance was $909 million as at the year end. During our audit, we noted a difference of $54 million between the receivable listing from billing system and the amount recorded in the financial statements. The difference was not reconciled or corrected by management. Provision for bad and doubtful debt was charged at a flat rate of 15% on current receivables, amounting to $63 million. The basis of provision was not in line with the current provision policy of the company and was not supported with the debtor's age listing. We were not provided with sufficient information and justifications to enable us to determine the valuation and completeness of receivables recorded in the financial statements. Payables. Payable balance of $603 million was reported as detailed in note 14 of the financial statements. From our audit, we noted that the total payable listing was greater than the recorded general ledger balance by $13 million. The difference was not reconciled and corrected by management. Furthermore, the listing included a total debit balance of $26 million, which could not be explained by management. We could not carry further tests on payables as we were not provided with supplier statements for a selected sample of $607 million. We also note a total difference of $31.8 million between the records of the company and amounts confirmed by suppliers. The difference is not reconciled or explained by management, or the procedures could not be performed to ascertain the existence and completeness of the recorded payable balance. Cash and bank. The company recorded cash balance of $95 million and overdrawn bank balance of $120 million as detailed in note 19 of the financial statement. From our audit test on cash and bank balances, we noted long reconciling items in the bank reconciliation amounting to $890 million that were not cleared up to the time of reporting. We also noted total difference of $173 million between the adjusted bank balance and the general ledger balance. These were not reconciled. We were unable to establish the completeness and valuation of the cash balance with such significant reconciling differences. Consequently, we could not determine the possible adjustments, if any, that might have been necessary for the year ended 31st December 2015. Long-term loans. $8.7 billion is reported as long-term loans in Note 15 of the financial statement. Management did not provide us with the relevant loan agreements or supporting loan schedules. We noted differences of $94.8 million between confirmation replies received and the amount recorded in the general ledger, with confirmation replies being higher. With insufficient evidence from management, we were unable to ascertain the completeness and existence of the loan balance, and there were no other procedures we could perform to ascertain the existence of this balance. VAT payable, VAT. Included in interest expenses stated in Note 14 is $178 million. From our audit work, we recomputed the expected VAT payable, but noted a difference of $73 million between the amount recorded in the general ledger and our computation with the general ledger balance being higher. We were not satisfied with management's explanation that it related to system error, as this was not substantiated or corrected. We were unable to ascertain the accuracy of the VAT payable reported in the financial statement. Exchange gain and losses. A difference of $184 million noted between the stock valuation report and the amount recorded in the general ledger was adjusted by management as exchange loss in the income statement, with no justification supporting the adjustment. Additionally, a difference of $8 million is noted between the ING Euro loan recorded in the general ledger and bank statement balance was recognized as exchange gain in the income statement. During our audit, we were unable to obtain sufficient information and justification for the above journals to determine the appropriateness of these adjustments. Additionally, a write-off of $975 million was also made to settle Euro financing, Euro Africa, and Global Trading Group, but the basis of this write-off cannot be determined. Other audit procedures could not be performed in order to ascertain the appearance of this account balance. Opinion. In our opinion, because of the significance of the matters discussed in the basis of adverse opinion paragraph, the financial statements do not give a true and fair view of the financial position of National Water and Electricity Company Limited as of 31st December 2015, and of its financial performance and its statement of cash flows for the year then ended. The company has kept books of accounts which are not in agreement with the statement of financial position and income statement in the manner required by generally accepted accounting principles and the Companies Act 2013. Signed, DT Associates, Chartered Accountants and Registered Auditors, dated 29th of March 2018.
Thank you very much, Ajay. We'll be going through the management letter. Kindly turn to the management letter. With regards to the table of contents, we have the control environment, risk management, accounting issues. My colleague will be taking us through the control environment and risk management, and I'll be taking you through the accounting issues.
Thank you very much. Can we turn to page 7 of the management letter? The first point is on induction training. Observation. The company's HR policy requires all new employees to be taken through induction training as part of the recruitment procedures. During our test of controls in ensuring that the activity is being implemented, we noted instances where there were no evidence of induction training being conducted and recorded in the employees' files. Implementation. Not conducting induction training